Now, so what I think I'll do next is I'm going to actually work the problem, part A and B, of problem number 108. So problem number 108, again, we're given, so this is number 108, we are given that P of H, it's the same thing as I had before, 760 times e raised to the power negative 0.145 times h, where h is the height, P is the pressure. And part A says we want to find pressure when the height is equal to 2. Well, same song, second stanza. Take this value of 2, substitute it in for the height, evaluate that expression. And so we want to find P of 2, negative 0.145 times 2. And then let's go to the calculator. So clear. I need negative 0.145 times 2. So negative 0.145 times 2. I have negative 0.29. Right? Now I need to take E, order of operations, parenthesis first, exponent second, multiply last. So I'm going to take E, raise it to that power. And my value is, I can say either previous answer or I can actually specifically type in negative 0.29, close parenthesis. And my value is 760. Now it's multiplied by the value 0.7482, or 0.74826, however many as you want to put in. This is just to indicate what we're working with here, showing your work. But notice I'm leaving the entire decimal string in the calculator, right? And now I need to take that value, multiply it by 760 times 760, and my value that I have is 568.68. Again, that's rounded to 2 decimal places, and I will not be concerned with the units. Now, a small detail here. Suppose when you wrote this down, this value, you wrote down 0.7483 and you rounded this 4th decimal. So suppose you did this. Suppose you said this is equal to 760 times, and you use 0.7483. You rounded to 4 decimals. And now, when you use your computation, you're going to say 760, multiply it by 0.7483. And your value that you get is 568 rounded. You get 0.708, and so what you would use, you would round your answer to 568.71. Now, suppose you do this work and you get your value of 568.71. You check in the text, and the text has 568.68. The appropriate reply, the appropriate thought for you to have is not, what did I do wrong? Everything you did is correct. You simply rounded in a different place than this computation. If you show me what you're working, if you show your work, I will not penalize you for this rounding. So if you get 568.71, or maybe you round somewhere else and you get 568.57, or you get 568.63 or 568.74, if you get something reasonably close to this, then I will attribute that to simply rounding difference, and I'm not going to penalize you for that. If you do this computation and you get 743, then clearly something's wrong. You need to go back and fix that. But I will not penalize you for slight rounding differences, because wherever you round this differently, your work from there on out will be slightly different. You will be accumulating error. I will say this, the preferred method is what I've done here, which is you may write down whatever you want, but leave in your calculator the entire decimal string for this computation, and then only round as your final result. And that will tend to be much more accurate. For one thing, that'll tend to agree with the text much more frequently, but more importantly, you'll be more accurate. So this is preferred, but you should not consider this to be incorrect. Next piece I'll do is part B on page 108. Problem number 108, rather. Again, this is page 293, number 108. This is part B. And part B says, what is the height? I'm sorry. What is it? What do we mean by it? What is it? That's the pressure. What is the pressure at height equal to 10 kilometers? And again, let's rewrite the model here. P of H. Again, this must be given. You will not be expected to generate these. These functions will be given. So P of H is given to be 760 times e raised to the power negative 0.145. I almost have this thing memorized by now, times h. And our task is to take 10, substitute for h, and compute the expression. So P of 10 is equal to 760 times e raised to the negative 0.145 times 10. Well, I can do that. That's times 10. That just moves the decimal. So I know that's going to be negative 1.45. I know 10 times that. I've done that computation before. And now we need to compute e raised to the power, e raised to the power of negative 1.45. So second function natural log gives e to the raised to the power negative 1.45, close parenthesis, and that gives me 760 times 0.2345. Again, that I'm just writing this as a reference. I'm leaving the decimal string. Leave the decimal string in the calculator and multiply that by 760. So the decimal string in the calculator times 760. And my value is 178. And I'm rounding 0.27. Right? Now, okay, so that's the procedure for several of these examples, or several of these homework problems, several of these items, exercises on page 293.